The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked onto the true nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
One day, when you hold your phone up to do that time check, you'll reveal something that you don't want to reveal, huh?
But man, I come out here, I make sure I know what's going up on that screen before I wave that phone.
So that the WhatsApp chat where you was telling me that you're promising me a roti?
Yeah, in exchange for the watch you promised to get me 2 years now.
If you don't know the program you're listening to, this is The Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, and I sit here alongside my bro with no fro, a lot of flow, and always on the go.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage.
And he's always in the know as well.
Well,
all right?
I'm aware of a thing or two.
Before we go any further, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors. This is so fitting this week, eh? The original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago who did not come in by boat, the Tainos and the Kalinakos, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and now we're removing it from the coat of arms that Columbus lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, where the P this week stands for
Pandemonium, boy, Pandemonium.
That's a big tune from Voice and Lil Natty and Thunder, no?
Hey, listen.
Oh my gosh, hey.
People are going berserk. People are going berserk. Right?
I know we know what we're gonna start with today, but let me paint a picture of an analogy.
A picture of an analogy. Wait.
A picture of an analogy.
All right. Okay. So that's like a postulation about a hypothesis.
Exactly. And I'm doing this purposefully. You remember about 3 to 4, probably 5 years ago, how much of an uproar we were in when we realized how much of Trinidad and Tobago falls under the Massey umbrella of services?
I remember that we noticed it. Uproar. When they say we, as in you and I, or the population?
The population.
Okay, yeah, there was a general hullabaloo.
Because rebranding of a company is an extensive exercise.
It is.
Right? And when you rebrand a company so much that it reveals the extent under the umbrella, it brought about a certain level of hullabaloo.
Yeah, there was. I
like that word though.
Yeah, hullabaloo is a nice word, man. That's shenanigans, them kind of thing. I like those words.
Hullabaloo.
But there was notable clutching of pearls and snatching of garments.
Right. Now that was 5 years ago. On Sunday at a PNM special convention at the National Academy for the Performing Arts, our Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, would have announced the plan. Well, he announced a number of plans, a number of action points. However, the one that stood out to us as a population is and I think the suitable name to call today's episode is the change of arms.
Yeah, no, I have a much nicer name.
Oh, okay.
And I am not telling you until it goes up. So that way have plausible deniability.
Okay, thank you very much, because the change of arms, and as you mentioned, plausible deniability, we also as a population need to remember that the use of national emblems in improper ways is a crime. So as much as I respect and love our meme culture because it brings a chuckle to my breath.
A chuckle to your breath, you say?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, I really laugh at some of them memes. Some of them are pure gold, and I apologize that we cannot use them in the production of this show because we do not want to be held liable.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
I would not have touched one with a pole. And I will tell you why. When you finish your points.
Okay. Right? I love a good meme just as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
But you see, the misuse of national emblems or the defamation of character, those are things which I can't accept. I will admit, in the last week, there was a meme circulating for the gentleman that got in the accident in Maraval, where if I send you this, just know it's not me.
It's not me. Are we looking for the driver?
Or we looking for the driver? I for one, I love that.
Yeah, but he's not a national emblem.
Thank you. He's probably the meme of the month.
Right. Yeah.
But
we're looking for the driver.
We're looking for the driver. But what I'm saying is to emboss a picture of our prime minister with a afro. To emboss on the coat of arms. To emboss the national drinks, which may be contentious to us of what, because that is a personal choice.
Into the national drinks,
the beers that we produce,
people put those things on
yeah.
All I'm saying is, if I was a representative of the Islamic community, I would be very, very upset that these are the types of things that all they're doing with,
or the alcohol which cannot export.
I think that's offensive, actually.
Yeah, they put.
I'm not offended by much.
Yeah, they put the maxis, the various maxis.
Clever.
They changed the watchwords.
Language is a thing that I get it. Some of these things are subject to satire.
And I'm not going to say that. It in internal circles, if you're having a comedy show and you decide to speak on this in a comedy show, I don't know if that's okay. But to put it out there on social media and using the actual coat of arms and just embossing images upon it, that is misuse of a national emblem.
When using emboss kind of regularly, you know what I mean? I'm gonna check it out to make sure you're using it correctly.
Yeah, because they impose and stuff like that, and some of the images actually look like it's embossed on it. Like they didn't have the skill to like white out the image and put something else now.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah, a little background remover and all them kind of things.
Yeah, they didn't do all them things. They just rested it.
Yeah, embosses are specific.
Yeah.
Application, but I get what you're saying. I will allow it.
Like if this is the thing here, they just slap it on.
Yeah, I get it. I know the context in which you're using the word. I ain't gonna make a big deal.
Yeah. Thanks, huh? Thanks for
I have it, you know.
Sometimes.
Yeah. The reason I wouldn't touch those things with a pole in terms of preparing for this radio episode here is because, one, anything you put on the internet now is
forever.
as forever as we have technology, right? So I know not. Yeah, I mean, there are things that I will ridicule like anybody else. I mean, I've found a way to say that people play in the 36, and I will throw up a little donkey that is cute and clever, all well and good, right?
Or to use the trending word on social media for the
don't do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You know what my problem is? That is actually, you know what? You do it. You tell the listeners what the trending word has been.
That's demure.
Right, now here my issue with that, right? We speak about the level of illiteracy amongst those who are presented with platform and public spaces. And then when people decide to try out a word that they discover, or maybe even make it trending, I have no problems with vocabulary trending. I have no problems with people who not knowing the meaning of a word going to look it up and start using it.
The linguistic lover that you are.
I have no problems if this is the way that a word becomes repopularized or even becomes common use. I mean, not saying it wasn't common before, but at the end of the day, this is actually the opposite of degradation of vocabulary that we've been complaining about. So I'm cool with it, right? And this is one of the reasons I wouldn't touch the memes on this issue with a poll. I have zero desire to actually ridicule what I consider to be a significant step in the direction of the type of change that we consider meaningful. Now, if we are culture crazy, if we are the radio station that is representing 100% local, me lie to tell you, I don't know what them three boats had to do with what we've done as a nation since we've become independent. That is an emblem of our history. It is not an emblem of our accomplishments or even our future. So if you decide you want to put that emblem off of our coat of arms, right, and apply an emblem which is internationally recognized and say, hey, by the way, this is us.
This is our national instrument as declared by the United Nations.
Right? What I'm saying is if you want to do that, right, I believe it is a step in the right direction, because we cannot talk about not having a national identity, not having national pride, not having something to, unite around, etc., those types of things. And then we have problems when we start implementing them. So that is why I will do nothing to add any friction to that process. I will point out the hypocrisy of the majority of people who do have a problem with it though. And yes, the rampant hypocrisy, because the same people who think that this is not a big issue and it don't matter and it have more important things to see about spending money on brands, but you telling me you don't understand the importance of a symbol as a representative of something. You don't understand the weight that imagery has. But if you're Michael Jordan doing a crossover, you have a problem with it because it's a misrepresentation of a brand. However, you dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? So anyway, my whole point
sorry to laugh, but that was so funny. That's like if you're Johnny Walker walking the other way.
You understand? If Johnny Walker had an open umbrella instead of a walking stick.
No, but I like that comparison, Cardo. And you know why I like it? Because there's a huge part of our population that brand name attire defines us.
Right.
And for me, a national emblem is the country's brand. If you don't understand that, we need to have our next conversation about national pride.
Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, big up Chinese on another frequency, who had a very intellectual discussion this morning about the motto and our watchwords, emblems, etc. I will applaud the young man. I'm presuming he's young.
He about your age.
Well,
a little older probably.
Serious?
Yeah.
Right. Well then, congratulations, sir. I appreciate being subjected to intellectual conversation in the people and in public transport.
On urban radio.
Yeah, I would have to big him up.
Yeah. You make me forget my point, but I was going along the lines that the emblems of a country are the brand.
Yeah, and you had said that if you don't understand that, we need to have a discussion.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
right?
I was listening though.
I know that, me too. But what I really want to allude to with that, it really brings back a question which I continue to ask here, not just on the nation station. I ask it on social media. I ask it in my social circles as well. Why do we lack national pride? Why is it that we only suffer from a part-time patriotic paradigm? This happened now. The change of the arms happened. Bet your bottom dollar after independence, by the 3rd of September, we complaining about traffic again. What the real question for me to ask in this situation is, with such a change being touted, what is going to happen to our currency? What is going to happen to other national monuments that we have? Like, how swift is the updating going to be?
Right.
What is that part of the procedure?
No, here the catch for this, right? And this is why I also agree with the people who are up in arms about it. Or that'll make a good name too. But you know, I recognize the reason for the clamor. This was not announced in a government capacity.
Caro, that's why I purposefully said at the start of this, it was announced in a PNM special convention. No, that's a whole next question I want to ask her.
Right. So here the catch now. With it not being announced in a governmental capacity, right? is it a case of there's one of those things where we do have to do a press release or conference telling you guys exactly how long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost, when we expect to implement it, etc. Is it much ado about nothing? Is this one of those things that, let me put it this way, you say that in a meeting and people take it and run with it and turn it into a national discourse because nobody was actually clicking on the link for the public consultation that is being circulated right now?
Like what you sent, man.
Yeah. Right, so hey, here we're going on. We gotta get this thing in the public eye so that we actually have some meaningful data. Throw it out now and see what happens. Right, hey, but don't put that out through this, you know. All right, cool. Well, let me test the waters and see. Bam, impact achieved.
You know,
is it just brilliant marketing? Anyway,
and I'm going to say, does this show the power of reverse attention?
What is reverse attention? You're saying, you know?
Yeah, reverse attention, because bet your bottom dollar, if this was not said on Sunday at the special convention, how much of the population would have known that the PNM had a special convention?
Had they said it in the first session of Parliament resuming. What I mean is...
And not to sound bad, if they did it on Parliament, it would have been on the Parliament channel. And you know who would have known about it, Cardo? My grandmother and my grandfather. Because it's only...
There are thousands of people who look at Parliament channel.
No, but what I'm saying is the average young person has no interest in looking at the Parliament channel, because what they see the Parliament channel as is high-ranking Westwood Park.
Wow. All right, I ain't touching that one either.
No, okay, let me be more specific. A high-ranking drama.
Have you looked at the Parliament channels of any other countries?
Yes.
All of them so era.
And I'm going to say that as well, but for me, I rather read a press release thereafter. Not the press releases where the subject is as long or longer than the actual press release.
I get you.
But I rather read a press release after to summarize what happened in Parliament.
No,
and spend 5 hours looking at a discourse where 30 minutes might actually be the discussion on the topic, and 4.5 hours might be will the member for San Fernando East please sit down,
or retract that statement,
or retract. I rather give me the cliff notes.
yeah I mean, that's at the end of the day like reading article versus watching a movie. Some people there for the drama, they are there for it.
But then again, sometimes if you watch the movie as opposed to reading the book or the article, then you just miss out a lot of the important information in the book. Big up Harry Potter.
Right. Okay, cool. Right. I would have said big up like Samuel Savon or something, but what else? Green by the River was a play that was recently produced. I think
even in the plays, I still think a lot was left out in the plays.
Well, of course, because they cannot enact the entirety. Anyway, we different.
We just agreeing in different countries.
We different like them as Hotfoot Harmony say, like the tree period, right? Here are my issues with this thing, right? It was not released in official government capacity. So we can't vex if nobody come out and say, no, I believe that the Prime Minister have a responsibility that if we're making certain statements to facilitate the information relevant to that statement. But that's just Cardo, right? Why?
No, I agree with that as well.
If you say a thing in a special convention, great. But you fully well know that is going to raise more questions than actually provide information.
Correct.
Okay?
So, I don't know. Now, the second part of that is, and I will battle that statement with maybe, as you said, the statement in the special convention was made to provoke a national conversation, right?
Yeah. I applauded Dr. Rowley on Sunday night,
and
from the safety of my living room, from the privacy of my living room, I was like, that move was absolute genius.
And now that the national discourse has started, maybe come the 31st of August, when he does an address to the nation,
right?
maybe that is when an official announcement may be made, either from him or the president on the morning of the parade.
Maybe the people who had never watched it before going to watch it now.
You know, that's like me and West Indies cricket. We last a 5-day test match that 2.5 days was rain, and it make me enthusiastic to look at the second test match that only lasted 2.5 days without rain.
Have I issue, you know, you're right. Have I issue. We lost that test match by 20 runs at innings, you know. Now considering the scores, 20 runs is a portion. But to lose a test match by 20 runs at innings, man, that's one stand.
And I'm not going to say, you know what that also is? A lack of ruthlessness in our bowling attack to claim our wickets as well. Because how you could tell me a 10th wicket partnership makes 63 runs, right, and you know how much we fell short in the first innings by? 63.
Right. So it looked bad, you know, but if I was a coach, if I was to analyze that particular performance, I would acknowledge it's not as bad as it sounds.
There's improvement.
It is literally one
person putting a hand up and saying, you know what, I go and take some pressure, suck up about 50 dot balls,
and let the next man chuck
it two and thing.
Right.
And you know what? And I think that is a fitting time to mention the greatness of one Shivnarine Chandapal, who celebrated his birthday last week.
Pick up you, Chandapal. Let me go so there.
Chandapal,
which is actually what he's been saying.
Yeah, which is but really and truly, we had in the days past cricketers who would have understood the assignment, understood the importance of what Test cricket is, and the patience that it taught. Because they say patience is a virtue, but the patience that is exhibited by a batsman in Test cricket to bat out 60 or 70 dot balls to see out a day, or a night watchman coming in,
or to face 60 or 70 dot balls, right, to protect your partner.
Exactly. Because we will all remember Brian Lara scoring the 375, but let's forget Chandapal being on the other end.
You feel he would have done that day without Shiv?
We remember Lara scoring 400. But lest we forget Ridley Jacobs on the other end making 117 thereabout.
Ridley Jacobs, the wicket keeper? A wicket keeper making a century plus stand in a record break. This is my point, you know.
No, and let me bring this back to this point. As much as we may not accept it, the government is the striking batsman. But we, as the citizenry now, have to be the one on the other end. You sure you want to take that run there? You sure you want to turn this one into two? We have to hold the government, who is the striking batsman, accountable for the decisions they're making. Just like how a Google form was posted on social media for national discourse about the changing of street names. This is the opportunities that we as the population get to chime in. You know the disgrace I feel in to know that Kent Professor Fillmore just have a turnaround on Harris Promenade? Who is Harris? That was a rhetorical question, I know the answer to the question. But you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, you understand something, Aaron. Oh, you understand something. You see these names? I understand why these names mean things to people, you know. Right? My grandfather was Claxton.
Also, he know what bay.
Right, as in Claxton. Right? My grandmother, she carried Harris. Right? a lot of people in Trinidad and Tobago have identities associated with the names that some of these places and things have. Right?
Correct. And again, I have no fight in that.
But at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, I two slave owner names, plantation owner names.
Right? And I'm now going to say that we have enough national heroes,
right,
that we could start to honor them, one, while they are still alive, by naming streets in their honor.
Why do you have a Rascamana Avenue in Superior?
Or a Famanapi Avenue in Superior?
Right. Why one of the blocks in Prayer is not named after Marshall or Kess or Manning or Baz
or Panday?
You know what I mean? I just throwing it out there.
So that's the thing. We have enough national heroes to honor them by naming things after them. But you know what we need to do? Because admittedly, when you're in the position of power, you may not remember everything. You may not remember all these different people that we need to pay tribute to. This is where we as the population can chime in. This is where we could chime in and say, you know what? I want to name a street in Marabella, Mitchell Avenue.
I'd prefer if you call it a Ricardo Crescent or something like that.
No, we're talking about your family name here.
Fair enough, but I mean,
if you're looking for that self-praise, no problem. But
I ain't there looking for self-praise, But the end of the day,
beacon of light and purity.
What I mean is when you're naming something after somebody, you name it after the individual. If Lando start a basketball academy and you want to name the street after Lando, I don't expect no credit for what he do.
Well, true, good point. But I was just likening it to our last name.
You know what? We're gonna name a street after Tyrell for all the hard work that Aaron do in culture.
You know what? Not a problem, because Tyrell.
Your face, you are struggling to hold our face. You know. DJ.
Nah. Yeah, I understand.
DJ Aaron868 Avenue, right?
DJ Aaron Drive.
Right. Hey, you know what I mean? It'll be a hard drive though. Put up chain. Yeah. What I say, right? Is I understand the association a lot of us have with identity. Thus, we should recognize the importance of having an identity that reflects us. Hit the catch, right? You know what? Aaron, get the scene with them three boats, right? If you put it Fat El Razak and keep them three boats, I could understand.
More inclusion.
Right? But hit the catch.
But what about, because I saw this on social media, and I'm going to ask the question now.
And I got to answer before you ask, but I'm going to ask it because you listeners.
What about the inclusion of the tassa along with the steel pan?
We didn't invent that here. It might be expressed, but it wasn't invented here. We're looking at something that Trinidad and Tobago. This is indigenous to Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, allow me for at least a minute here. On today's newspaper.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, I've read a newspaper before 6 a.m. I mean, I was up early this morning. Right? The front page of one of the tabloids is the inclusion or the change of arms will cause an ethnic divide. I asked the question. Now I understand if I internalize it enough, but I asked the question as why is that the first response?
It is an apt response to a matter of national interest being revealed in a special convention versus on a national platform.
So now
you have politicized the move. Well, then you are subject to a politicization
of the response.
Yes.
No, I understand that. And as I say, if it took me, when I internalized it, I understood that. Which is why when we started tonight's show, I said it was announced in a special convention. I know many persons who listen to this program are aligned politically. So if you don't want to respond in the comments right now, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram at DJ Aaron868. Send me a DM. send my email, djaaron868@gmail.com. Explain to me why, one, it was not announced on a national platform. Now again, I'm working with the information at hand.
Right.
As of Tuesday, the 20th of August, 2024, I have not yet seen a national document on a Trinidad and Tobago government letterhead outlining these changes.
Right.
All I am seeing is videos circulating from a special convention of the People's National Movement on Sunday, the 18th of August at the National Academy for the Performing Arts. I just stated the facts, and I've been very thorough in stating in the facts.
Right.
That is all I have seen. So if somebody from the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, which comprises of both the People's National Movement and the United National Congress, who is in opposition,
and the independent senators,
and the various independent senators, if there's some document that has been circulated internally there, I know you all may not be able to share it because it's just an internal document, but just say something in the works. That's all we want to hear.
Call name, we go whistle, something
in the works, because as a nation, and allow me properly to state it, as a nation, some of us may be in uproar of the proposed change. Some of us may be in agreement of the proposed change. But what I think is the major overriding and the umbrella issue here is the forum in which the change was announced.
In other words, Aaron, is not what you see, it's how you see it?
No, where you see it.
Here my issue, because of how this information was suggested, it was a political maneuver, right? It was not of whether it sparks national discourse or not, right? It was birthed to be used politically. Otherwise, you would not have used it in this manner. Right? Anything that you get after that is fruit from that particular poisoned well. Secondly, I have no problem with it, because in 20 years' time, no one is going to remember how mad we were about when it was done. We are going to be proud of the fact that our coat of arms has a steel pan on it, as opposed to 3 ships of there's a lot of information out there that would suggest that there isn't even any 3 boat that was part of our discovery, right? What I'm saying, people talking about rewriting history and we erasing history, I would like to point out that if that version of history is what you've accepted as the fact, then it's already been erased and rewritten, right?
Then we should put, well, I don't know if they had logos back then for it, but we should put the signage or of the Tinos and the Kalanagos.
As a man, sir, I laughed this morning going through social media, a man say his grandfather was a Carib and his mother was a Arawak, because there's the terms I was using for them. See, if those really warlike cannibals, how come his grandfather didn't eat his grandmother? Dude.
Wow.
Dude. Right, what I'm saying is I understand.
That's taking it real far.
It was funny though. It's funny. Right, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of... It is difficult for us to let go of what we know once better is introduced. Changing people's minds is a very, very difficult thing. In fact, you can't change nobody's mind. They either change it for themselves, and the best you could do is give them something to use. Right?
And I want to say you could present that with information, but you can't.
Right, so my whole point about what's going on with this uproar is that, brother man, in 20 years' time, when we celebrating the steel pan on our coat of arms and whatever other changes that we've made because of the progress we've made as an independent nation versus being a post-colonial nation, right? Well, then nobody going to care that it announced in a P&M rally before it was rolled out.
You know who gonna remember that? Me and you. But you know who not going to remember that? The children who doing social studies in 10 to 15 years.
the little Venezuelans who are being integrated into our public school system in September. Going
just
to
like
you may want to know Nina Pinta and Santa Maria is Japan.
Just like how only our grandparents and great-grandparents, if they are still alive, will remember distinctly the events surrounding the lowering of the Union Jack and the raising of the red, white, and black in 1962. But you know what that is for we? All we remember is Independence Day to the 1st of August.
Right. Just like there were people who turned the nose up at men who decided to want to march on Port of Spain. Right? But now that your children are applying and getting work in the bank, you don't remember that you were against what it took to decolonialize our local institutions, even after independence. You don't. This is trippy to me.
And you see, that is my thing. As much as some persons may say that we are erasing history, we are writing our own history now.
We are writing our futures.
No, but let me finish. We're writing our own histories.
If you bite my line now, I'll get vexed.
Wow.
Go ahead.
We're writing our own histories because from 1962 to 2024, a lot of things have changed. We need to understand where we were, understand where we are, to chart a plot as to where we're going forward. And if a change to recognize our national instrument on our national, the coat of arms, is a move which for me I thought should have been made some time ago. There's a personal thing I say in there, right? We all fit because now, as you just said, Ricardo, we're writing our own story. I'm paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
Right? We're writing our own story now to be able to present a picture of an emblem to future generations that shows what we as a nation are proud of. And a sense of national pride, though devoid in some of us, though only being part-time in a lot of us, is something that is needed to restore our country to a place of greatness.
Aaron, why do we even have national birds?
I don't know.
Why do some countries have national birds?
I was going to say something real out of time in there, but yeah.
Anyway, you know, this is why we need people like Harmony and Dane Peters and them to come in and Ras to pour in and give you a little conversation, and Dominic Calipasar and
I spoke to Ras last week and he expressed gratitude for us playing his song Trinidadian is Mine. And as now, I will just announce to you all, the Tribute 30 is taking a new format from this Friday.
Boom.
So make sure and tune in, because we're no longer just going to be paying tribute to one specific artist on a Friday. We're paying tribute to an art form which is indigenous to Trinidad and Tobago.
I wish you had spoken to me about this before you make this public reveal. Ooh, I would have been able to give you a really, really sweet perspective on the Tribute 30. I guess we'll just wait for the next season, 2026 or something. So
yeah, but we're going to be paying tribute to our art form, which is Kaiso.
So what I mean?
Each and every Friday.
That's not what it is, do? Oh wait, no, the Tribute 30 was to the artists.
To the artists, but we
so
paid tribute to the... We paid tribute to Krukru before, we paid tribute to Chocolates, we paid tribute to Brother Valentino, we paid tribute to Zandoli, Trinidad Rio, just some of the Calypsonians.
Yeah, but we also paid tribute to soca artists as well.
Yeah.
Right, so
but
is this a shift?
Admittedly, soca gets the play most times outside of the season.
Yeah.
Right? So we and Calypso sometimes is a forgotten art form. And as Ras Commander taught me, and I continue to teach people, by Kaiso all stories are told. So we're going to be telling stories on a Friday through Kaiso.
I used to get like telling stories on our small.
Yeah, we know. You still get licks for telling stories when they're big. But we good.
I'm a beacon of honesty, dog. What you telling me? What you telling me?
But really, and should be going to be paying tribute to the art form that is Kaiso each and every Friday.
What time is this? Because I had a chance to
7:30.
see how this thing changed.
7:30 on a Friday.
Back in the day, we used to go for ice cream all then.
Yeah.
That way they bring me this station again, you know. I feel like I buff.
What, for the ice cream?
We have eating ice cream all over the people equipment.
On a dietary day, boy.
Anyway, but hey, big up you on that. Big up you on that.
Big up Kenny, actually.
Yeah, Kenderson, Kendrick, Kensworth.
Yeah.
Nice man. Nice. So, all you talking again then?
Yeah, we start back talking.
Right, nice.
He called me while I was on my vacation. I denied the call because he called normal.
You know he don't deal well with rejection.
Yeah, cause I don't deal up with room and charges either. And when I returned the call, we had a nice conversation. We trashed out our issues. We both remembered our love for West Indies cricket, and we proceeded with our friendship.
Yeah, but Aaron, you realize when in Rome you had to do like the Romans?
No, I am not. No, never. Never. After one ill-fated phone call I answered when I was in New York, that cost me, I think, close to $200 to answer that call. That was the end of me and Roman lettuce.
So it was
Roman Virgo.
It was the fall of the Roman Empire then.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
All kind of Roman I was upset with after answering that call.
I'm confused, you know.
What's that?
No, seriously, about us as a people. It's like I'm confused, you know. It's like if you do nothing, it's a problem. If you do something, it's a problem.
Oh, you know, I was going to say the exact same thing.
I said, I'm aware of a thing or two, you know.
No, because really and truly, our population is a damned if you do, damned if you don't want. Because, take for example, now, in theory, the decision was made to widen the highway from Chase Village to Chaguanas, and the work should have been completed by August 2024. Wink, wink. 1 month in? Anywho, in principle, it's a good move. But in execution, why are we taking so long?
They probably didn't expect so much traffic while they was trying to pave run.
But what do you think would have happened with doing roadworks on a highway? Do you think you can't close the highway?
Brother man, listen, let's put this way, they probably didn't know that bridge was gonna collapse and give all these extra. Listen, Aaron, I'm not in the mood to go into how many things and why, no, to be honest with you.
No, but that's what I say. Notice I said in theory is a good idea. I didn't want to go into the practicality or the issues that would have been faced in the issue.
You wanna know why we as a people we just really played the 36? When, however many years ago, a man say let we build a rapid rail and we protest and we say no and we make one that rab and old noise and we resist the change. 15 and 20 years later when we stuck in traffic on the highway, who we had to blame but us for not having a more rigorous public transport system, right? There's a reason we can't have nice things. Oh, look how much money it will cost to change out that, this, that, and the other. But man, we have no details, you know, for a reason, right? But what I'm saying is, if they tell you, hey, you could use existing documents until they expire, what's the big deal? Right? They literally just change the currency. Are they going to allow for?
Or all bird papers which were issued before the 31st of August 2024 are still valid.
Yeah, but here the catch. We can't complain about a lack of information when this statement was not made on a national platform.
And that is the thing, eh? In Trinidad and Tobago, we like to run just like how I forget which relay team it was where the battle fall.
Yeah, that was Jamaica when they get bumped?
I feel so.
Wait, this Olympics or
this Olympics?
Oh yeah, I think
but again,
get bumped.
Not to sound bad, I write off this Olympics from memory.
What Olympics?
Thank you.
You mean the pre-football starting back tournament?
No, I'm talking about the Paralympics that going on now.
The pre-Paralympics, the warm-up.
Yeah, had to be.
Yeah. Because Special Olympics is a flicker. You see them. I see a clip of these break dancers.
Or real break dancers,
bro.
Like real break dancers.
Dan talent.
You know that clip that we spoke of was removed from the internet last week. Last week. Yeah.
Interesting.
I sure give it 2-3 weeks and somebody go and pop back up with it again.
Yeah. Good thing I didn't use it.
Neither me, because that was real funny. But oh my gosh. The memes again that came out of it, they are hilarious. Like, I tell you, I love a good chuckle just as much as the next guy.
Yeah, but I've also learned I have the responsibility of not adding friction to progress. That's the space I'm in right now.
Well, totally understood. However,
don't get me wrong, Aaron. The reason this is causing the uproar it is causing is because it was deliberately manipulative. Right? The point of releasing that information in the space that you did was so that you would not have the responsibility of following up immediately with information on a national platform, and you would allow whatever
with the necessary cursory information.
Right. So cool. And if people feel disrespected and manipulated, cool.
You say it was manipulative. I say it was intentional.
But what was the intent? To manipulate people into a reaction. Nobody have a problem with the information because they have no information. No, people have a problem with that's where you go study now, or how much it will cost we. At the end of the day, is our old tactic to create problems and provide the solution for a problem that did not exist except for the fact that you created, and now you're deemed as a problem solver.
Or it could be another distractionary issue to probably take more money out of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund without us knowing. Because
that happened?
Something like that happened recently, if you don't recall.
I like how you say something like that. Please be mindful.
No, but there was a withdrawal from the Heritage and Stabilization Fund recently. But again, when issues like this happen, these prevalent issues covers page 1 to 4 in the papers.
Right.
Which would push other issues to 5 and 6. And the average man ain't reading past page 3.
I mean, most people not even reading beyond the beyond the 4.
Right, and no, well, I just going in a good case scenario here. Of page 3, and if you look at our newspapers, page 1 is just headlines and pictures to catch you to buy the papers.
Page 2 is a full page ad.
And page 3 is the headline, the story based on the headline, and then a very small story after that.
And there are papers that actually using page 3 as just headlines for other articles later down in the
So, as I just said,
attention span.
Putting something there could also distract from other issues which may come up.
You know what we're gonna do our next episode on this? We'll call it the attention spandemic.
Oh my gosh, Chad, that is such a serious thing, and I'm glad you brought that up because we are getting close to the end of tonight's program. Not perilously close as yet, but we're getting close to the end of tonight's program. This weekend brought about the return of club football across Europe. And before I move to club football across Europe, I must commend the national under-14 team for their 2 victories thus far within the CFU tournament, right?
Another beat Aruba and somebody else.
Yeah, can't remember the next country. Right? Again, this is the same thing we talked about last week. I show in the stands for them games that only had them fellas' parents.
Right.
And the young lady which they may be talking to, or the friends from school.
Yeah, I think it's St. Kitts and Nevis and Aruba.
Right.
Yeah. Aaron, let me go some sports now.
We had to try, yeah. Not this weekend though, because this weekend, as we said last week, this Sunday, I'll be heading up to Kaiser Blues Cafe for Pui, which is Joshua Ricardo's concert.
Yeah, I have a couple engagements this weekend already and church Sunday, so I out of combination.
I church Sunday as well.
Yeah. Big up God.
All right. Yeah, big up God. Big G.
Big up the big G.
All right. But what I was alluding to is this weekend there was return of club football across Europe. And I'm not saying that I'm not thankful for it. However, I myself find it difficult to sit as I would have before and give my undivided attention to a 90-minute to 100-minute football game. And I don't know if that is because my focus has now shifted now to doing more as opposed to sitting and enjoying things like that more. Or because football has gotten so strategic and tactical that it no longer has the flair of yesteryear that makes it appealing to watch a game.
Right. So the only thing enjoyable about the football is the bacchanal, the contentious calls, the narrative
issues.
The narrative behind the performance versus the performance itself.
Yeah.
You understand now. Now you understand why when you ask me about my team, I can tell you I don't know anything about it anymore.
Now, liken that to cricket. This weekend, West Indies will be playing South Africa in a 3-match T20I series at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, which has been luckily double-headed with the women's CPL.
You see what
so the West Indies, the women will be playing at 8 p.m. and the men will be playing at 3 p.m.
Brilliant.
So if you can, make your way down to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy to support not only the men in maroon, but also to our women warriors in the women's CPL. I think next week Tuesday I want to try and go.
Alright, let's see what we could do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that attention pandemic that you want to speak of, it's a very serious issue. Be it, as I said before, that things are not as appealing as they were because they have become more tactical, or the issues surrounding the game are overshadowing the actual game. Be it that now the average length of a reel on Instagram is 1 minute. And sometimes you don't even watch the whole minute because if you're not caught if they don't catch you in the first 10 seconds, you're just scrolling up one time. Whatever the reason it may be for our lack of focus to enjoy things we would have enjoyed years ago, it's something that needs to be addressed. Because unless you are intentionally focused on something, most times it doesn't captivate your attention. And as real as this is, the simple task of going to the toilet, if you do go to the toilet with your phone, you're like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
How much time you go count the amount of tiles on the floor in the toilet, boy?
Yeah, I know watch the little wood slave run across the
Dan, them wood slaves are annoying. But watch me. You living rent-free in my house.
It's not like they're living rent-free in your head.
That too. You, as the wood slave, should follow my sleep pattern. If you know my sleep timer is from 10 o'clock to 6:30 a.m. every day, that should be your quiet time. When I go to work every single day, make your noise. Talk with your friends. You know, as a matter of fact, form a group. Or they could chat then. But you see, between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., in my house, I's the boss. Stay quiet.
He is the captain.
Yeah, I realize that, bro.
He is the captain now.
He's the captain here. Bro.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the global stage. Thanking you for joining us in the living room. Right. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe.
We are perilously close to that hour, and Mr. Desmond is already in studio, waiting for, to kickstart the big band. right? This is your truly DJ Aaron868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, and I also tell you, and most importantly, love is the currency. So spend some today. Let somebody know that you love them, guys, right? You tell somebody you love them today?
Not yet. I love you, Aaron.
Not me. Because in the WhatsApp messages that you were showing at the start of the show, that's one of the messages that you told me already. So tell somebody else before the night is over, Cardo, that you love them.
Yeah. I mean, 7 o'clock in the night and I ain't tell nobody I love them. For the day I have to do better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you told me already, so that's good. But tell somebody else that you love them.
Apparently you don't count.
No, I don't count. We have been trying to end with a song, and I think I don't want to go with the one that everybody will think we will play. Right? So we're gonna do one from the late, the great Dr. Leroy Caliste.
Copy that.
Yeah, like do something from the black man. A pleasant good evening to you, Auntie Patsy. Keep it locked to the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM.
Sufferers don't care who migrate from where or who living in who pay. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care who from town.
Sufferers only want to know
where the next food coming from.
This one for all them racists. This one for the racists. Anytime you bounce up a racist and you hear them running them out, it have a whole set of people don't care what they talking about. A racist is someone living happy and all their family doing well. So race talk is really not for people in the ghetto catching hell. Now tell the racists, sufferers don't care about color. Sufferers don't care about race. Sufferers don't care who migrate from where or who living in who place. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care who from town. Sufferers only want to hear where the next food coming from. Get up early next morning, go down in the 10 days yard. You see so much different race, so much different people line up with the ID card. Or visit my village called Talparo, where they get no water for years. So much different race, so much different color, with a bucket sit down shedding tears. Now tell the racists, sufferers don't care about color. Sufferers don't care about race. Sufferers don't care who migrate from where or who living in who place. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care